So to take the concept of energy even further, if we relate to life and self and all others as energy fields first and physical manifestations second, then we begin to move our thinking to the energetic level. And that is really the practice, main practice I think I'd like to emphasize for you today, although there's one more step to go here. So what it means is that I'm inviting you to think in terms of energy first and then human story second. So judging whether we like someone or something, judging whether someone is right or wrong, all this kind of stuff can go to be secondary. And then we move to a place where our first filter is energetic, right? So how does this affect my field? How does it feel like it affects my field? And what is my response? How am I caring for my field? How am I modifying my own field to influence back, to have impact or protect myself or whatever may be needed? The great Four Agreements book by Miguel Ruiz talks about not taking anything personally. It's kind of hard not to take things personally when you think that things are personal, when you believe that people are somehow conscious of their actions. But when you think of people as fields of energy first, that have a sort of human being dangling at the end of it, well, I find it easier to take things less personally. But there's an interesting twist, I think, that comes with this expansion of how we understand what it means to be human, to see ourselves as energy fields before we see ourselves as anything else. And that is to say that if we are primarily energy fields, we were an energy field before we were born, we are an energy field throughout our life as a soul, we will continue to be an energy field after we pass. Well, that means that if we want to manage that energy field in the human life and experience, then we actually want to use all the energy of the human energy system in our transformation of energy. Now, that sounds like I just said energy a lot, so let me say it differently. If we are mental, emotional, physical, spiritual beings, every aspect of that is a part of the energy equation, which means that in the most paradoxical way, the more connected we are to the wholeness of self, then the more access we have to the full energy system of the human life, which means it is available for our direction, our healing, our management, and what we put out into the world. And I believe that we feel this unconsciously when we're with people and around people, which is to say that however large is the shadow of a person, right, the unexamined self, however large is the fragmented self, or what traditional cultures might call soul loss, that is felt in the presence of the person, and it shapes how much energy they have available for the things they want to do and change, whether it's just getting up in the morning to go to work or school or whatever, or whether it's to create some kind of a greater spiritual change. I think in many ways this is a significant part of why the monastic communities and the spiritual ascetic communities were built the way they were. I don't think it was just psychological freedom from the stresses of life, although I think it's absolutely true that it's easier in a way to pursue enlightenment when you're not, rushing off to work and getting your kids off late to school in the snow, as we did today. But it's also about focus. It's just plain and simple about focus. If all the tasks of a day, the cleaning, the working, the eating, the preparing food, if all of them are dedicated, so to speak, to the service of the energy evolution, or the evolution of one's own energy, well, then you have a heck of a lot more available and online than you do when you're in a life where you're pulled in 100 different directions. So this is worth contemplating. What do you need to modify or change or reconsider in order to have more energy available to what matters to you? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to cut everything out, although I would guess that you need to cut a bunch of things out. You need to rethink who you're around and where you spend your time and how you have managed your physical spaces. But you can also transform your field of energy and the energy available to you by dedicating what you do to spiritual purpose or spiritual outcomes. So that means if you're stuck, so to speak, doing something that you'd rather not do, that influences your energy in a way that you'd rather not experience, but you're still choosing it, well, then choose it with the intention to let that effort and that work be of service to your evolution. The idea of dedicating things is really long past, but still important. People used to dedicate a walk to someone, a song to someone, the discovery of a place. And at the time, it made sense. The declaration is about an infusion of energy. It's about a transformation of energy. It's about a claiming of energy. And so you can dedicate your struggles, your losses, your work, whatever you do, to your highest good and your highest self and the blessing and peace of this world. But the turning point is probably going to be learning to see all of your experiences through that energetic filter first. To see life, the things of life, the inner world, the outer world, all as just an unbelievable symphony of energy and consciousness, love and wisdom playing, interplaying, creating, destroying, integrating, disintegrating, and evolving to a higher good. I was going to say, to who knows what. But we feel it. We feel the evolution, and we can choose to be part of it.